This is the best country in the world, and that's why I'm staying here.
This is Elena. She's from Ukraine and has been living in Singapore for almost 10 years. We discuss how to get a PR in Singapore, what it's like for a girl from Eastern Europe to marry a Chinese Malaysian, and the biggest differences between life in Shanghai and Singapore. I'm Max, an entrepreneur and YouTuber. Let's do it. After 10 years in Singapore, how you change your opinion in general about this place, about Singapore?
The most pleasant, the most organized, definitely the safest country in the world. My opinion is still the same, that this is the best country in the world. And that's why I'm staying here. And I travel a lot, so that is guaranteed. It is also the most expensive country in the world.
Especially now.
Especially now, and especially if you have to pay the rent. And I think the prices have been increasing and everyone feels it, locals and foreigners. But I take it as we pay the price for this comfort that we have here, the cleanliness, the safety, the healthcare system. That's why I chose to settle here and create my family in Singapore.
Budget for comfort living in Singapore for like 3 people.
If you have to rent the apartment, you would need at least 15,000 a month for the family of 3. Because remember also, if you have family of 3, that means you have a child, you also need to pay for education. So education is tough, like kindergartens, nurseries, 1,500 to 2,000 per month, and then schools, forget about it. If you go to international schools, that's starting, I think, from 25,000 and all the way up to, can go all the way to 50.
You are PR here.
Yeah.
Was it fast for you to get a PR?
It wasn't fast. I got my PR just last year. That was my 3rd attempt. I started when I came here, I think after 1 year of paying the tax. I applied. At that time I was single, so I applied. I waited for nearly a year. I got declined, then waited for more years, got married. I thought marrying Malaysian will help me, but I was the sponsor. I applied again as a married couple. We got declined, and the 3rd time we already had a son. So I was like, well, with the son, definitely I should get it. So I applied as a family with a child, and we got it last year.
What would be your advice to someone who is applying for PR? What do you need to do? Like based on your experience?
I'll just say start early, and that was the advice I got when I came to Singapore. I got advice from the lawyers, start early because you'll get declined several times. And that's why I started, I didn't have high expectations. Of course, I did a good job on application. I didn't use any agencies, I did it myself. You have to have volunteering, PR, not PR, you just have to contribute to the society that you are living in. So any volunteering records, appreciated. Of course, I think they're looking at education, master degree is required, have to pay the taxes, so there are probably some salary thresholds. And overall, I don't know, I never realized what is the secret there. I heard there are some quotas for different nationalities, but just keep trying. I feel like it's a lottery. And in all 3 times, my application was exactly the same. I did not change anything. The only thing that was changing is the marital status and the salary. As my career progressed, it was different jobs and more volunteering experience.
Wait, don't skip. If you want more flexibility regarding where to live and what to do without worrying about your PR status in Singapore, consider starting a YouTube channel as a side hustle. But there is no need to quit your job right away. My approach to this channel, my other channel with 300k subs and hundreds of my clients' channels, is to begin on the side, focus on testing, start making money, and then scale your success, and if you want, quit your job or other projects. Consider joining the early bird list for my side hustle YouTube mastery. It will be your 12 months journey for making money through YouTube, personally coached by myself. The link in description below. See you on the other side. And now back to the video. Speaking about the relationship between like the girl from Eastern Europe and the Chinese Malaysian man. What was the most like shocking for you when you start dating?
The very first meeting, we didn't like each other. At that time, I was in Malaysia for 3 weeks. It was my first time in Malaysia, and I think we met on my 3rd day of that trip. Honestly, when I came to Malaysia, my first day, I was shocked. I was shocked because I couldn't eat the food. It was spicy food. If there are any Malaysian audience from KL, I was staying in Seri Cempaka, which is really not a KLCC area. It's very remote, and I couldn't find any Western restaurants there. So I went in the first restaurant. It was Malaysian food, which is very spicy. So I ate it. I was all red. I was all itchy. I'm like, okay, I'm here for 3 weeks. I'm gonna starve because I cannot eat this food. And then I met this guy, and he said, hey, how you like Malaysia? And I said, look, I don't think I like it. I can't eat. It looks dirty. I don't feel safe. I don't know if I can go out at night because I just don't feel safe here. He's like, okay, let me show you let me show you what Malaysia is. I'll take you to restaurants. I'll show you places. After he showed me all the beautiful parts and the islands are amazing. Redang Island is my favorite. I've been there multiple times. I got my diving licenses there in Redang, Tioman, Perhentian. Beautiful islands, and I just love being by the water. Even the food, at certain point I managed to eat spicier food that my husband can eat, and he was very surprised that I like all the rendang curry and a lot of curries. I really come to like it, but it's something that I build up gradually, the spice level. So I really like Malaysian. It's my second home, third home, you name it. I travel so much, but it's a part of me. I definitely feel like I belong there as well.
You were in
Shanghai.
Shanghai, right. So like two big cities. How would you compare Shanghai versus Singapore?
It's completely two different cultures. Yes, it's maybe the same heritage, but China, it's very opportunistic. I've been there through the year 2008 to 2014. This was the year when Olympics started, then it was Shanghai Expo. The rest of the world, there was a global crisis, remember that, and China was booming and flourishing. So the speed of growth, of business growth, the opportunities was just tremendous there. And I find the China culture is very opportunistic. People just try to hustle and work out something. They try to learn really fast. Yes, there was a lot of kind of copying and iterating, localizing to the local needs, but something that was already iterated and localized as still innovation, because that served perfectly for the local audience, the local customer. And that's where we see all the copycats of Google, Facebook, and all the other organizations. So in China, they are more out of the box. They are innovators. They are not afraid to try things, to fail and try again, because they know that there is support. That's what I felt there. When I moved to Singapore, I felt it was more tight. Everyone had to work from 9 to 6 and probably 8 sometimes, work on the weekends. There is less of work-life balance. There is, the politics, there is always politics no matter what, it's just of a different context. But I felt that in Singapore there was more competition between the peers, which in China I felt they were more like, if you have a team, right, the team is doing the same thing, they're more united. But here, yes, they are united, but they're still competing with each other, which was a little difference that at first you don't understand what's really going on, but that's what I saw happening.
What are the other big differences between China and Singapore in terms of, let's say, just way of living, maybe lifestyle?
When I moved to Singapore after living 6 years in chaos and living in a place where I never managed to learn Chinese to the level that I could be speaking freely, I call it survival Mandarin. I came here, first of all, I could speak English and everyone could understand me, so that was easier. But also, the whole cleanliness, organization, safety, that was impressive. So for me, I finally could exhale. It's like, okay, I don't need to fight. I don't need to fight for my survival. I can relax because I know I'm taken care of. If this is the process will take 30 days, it will take 30 days. It will not take 20. It will not take 35. In China, sometimes, if you pay, you can get things done in one day, but sometimes it can drag for months. So you never know which extreme it will go. So I really appreciate that organization and orderly manner of life in Singapore.
I also want to talk about sales, because you're professional in sales. Do you use these skills like on daily basis? Let's say you need to negotiate the price for your apartment, but would you use it?
It was really challenging. I had the experience I had with apartments. I was played a lot, and that's where I had to learn how the real estate agent works and thinks, and to understand their techniques, so not to be caught into their traps. So my first apartment, when I was renting, we already agreed on the deal, and I said, yep, we're gonna put it to the landlord. I was already writing a letter of intent, and then the agent calls me like, hey, there is another offer, and they're actually giving more. Would you like to be the same price? And then I'll put a good word for you with the landlord. I sense that I don't really like that manipulation. I don't take it. Let's say, no, that's not gonna work. Oh, I'm so sorry, but I'll have to give it to other customer. Okay, well, good luck to that. Guess what? A day later, she calls me well, the customer did not really, the landlord did not work with them. So you have to go for the risk, because you'll be played, and you have to really make a call what is that price that you're ready to pay or you walk. Same in sales, right? There is a price that you're ready to pay or walk. You have to have that, and then you negotiate having that in mind. Then the second time, just recently, I was moving to the new apartment. We agreed on the price, same story repeats. The agent calls like, well, there is actually 2 other bids, but the landlord prefers your profile, your family, the others are single people, but they're putting this price, which is much more. He actually sent me the letter of intent where I saw that price. But guess what, in that case, I really liked the apartment, so like, okay, fine, like I'll just pay this price because I want to get an apartment, so I was ready to pay more than the list price just to get that offer, and I got it. Everyone plays in the real estate. I hate that time when the lease and renegotiation comes, because I know that's a lot of stress.
What's the one most important principle in life that helped you along the way? Maybe help with your career, help with your life in general?
My motto in life is who dares wins. And this is the motto that I took from the Israeli Navy SEALs. So it's really a military motto. And that really, I took it because it really reflects my approach to life. It's about trying new things. Even if you're afraid, go for it. And you never know, like worst case, you're just gonna lose, but in best case, it might open you new opportunities. So it's a principle where I try to get, these days I'm more conservative, so I don't jump outside of my box. I kind of step slowly outside of my box and try new things.
Thanks for watching. Consider joining the early bird list for my side hustle YouTube mastery. Click the link next to me. Yeah, exactly this one. Yeah, click it.